Well, hello everyone, Ian here with a quick recap of our visit to the Granite City Train Show in St. Cloud, Minnesota over the weekend, where a good time was had by all. It was the first show under new management as Ed Olson, the previous showrunner, is retiring to Alaska and after next spring won't be a part of the show anymore. He's run the show for like 20 years and he's been a great ambassador for the hobby. And to be honest, well, I was a little bit concerned that without him at the helm, the show wouldn't be the same. But it seems like my worries were unfounded because there was 10 layouts on display and half of those were under 8 foot by 4 foot, which is a good argument for the smaller layout. When you see that we were all laid out in a line from my 16 millimeter scale layout at one end all the way down to one of those knock preformed Z scale layouts at the other. It made for a very thought-provoking display, and I know that one person actually saw them all together and had a big smile on his face because he was seeing model railroads that weren't huge, and he was seeing them all together, and you could see the cogs were whirring away in his brain that he could do something small like that. Now, like Ed, I've been attending the show for 20 years, so as a result, I've got a little bit of recognition there, and people know me and they know my layouts. They often remark on the presentation and the subject matter, how on my different approach to everything, and some of them even remember layouts that I've forgotten about, and to have your stuff remembered, it's quite gratifying. So, and this notoriety that I've got, I end up being interviewed on the local radio stations pretty much every year, so I do my best then to talk up the hobby and my layouts and of course the Micro Model Railway Dispatch. And anyway, this time at the show I shot video of Bontoft's at work, and so you'll see it on display, and I'll try to get some behind the scenes work so you can see how everything works from other angles. Some of the camera work is a little bit jumpy because I couldn't carry a tripod around with me, but never mind, you will get to see what the layout looks like at a show and how it is to be run. So let's take a look at that, and I hope you enjoy it.
So here we are then, we're looking at the layout from the fiddle yard, and the locomotive trundles along towards the tipping point and tips the load perfectly. Don't you just love to see that happen? One thing we do is clear out the skip with a scraper there to otherwise we end up with as you can see, this line of sand alongside the track there and into the fiddle yard. We try to clear that out, clear the skip out as much as possible so that there's as little as that on the track as possible. So here we are going back from the fiddle yard into the loader, and something you notice there is that the skip doesn't always sit right when it returns to the running position. That's very strange. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and it nearly always happened when I was filming. So we fill the skip bucket, and we then trundle back onto the sector plate there, and it's a 2-yard sector plate, and it just lines up with 2 stops, and then we just like trundle out onto the layout again, and we just run up to the rail there, and it tips perfectly. Oh, don't you just love it when it happens like that? So that's operation viewed from the back of the layout. If you stopped the locomotive too soon as it got to the tipping point, then you find that the skip bucket would freeze like that, and you had to clear it, tip it and clear it manually.
I made that mistake when I was a kid. In the carpet service, you get up in the engine. like that. Alexander, if it's just like that, loads of...
This is a nice end-on view of the tipping mechanism. Here you can see how the skip catches on the rail, and the rail forces the bucket over to tip. Perfect.
He was driving that one around.
Yeah. Well, that was the Granite City Train Show. Hope you enjoyed the video. The layout was a lot of fun to operate. Everything worked perfectly, the loading and the tipping, and the people watching really seemed to enjoy it. So they had a good time. I hope you had a good time too. And thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you again soon.